Hello friends, and welcome back to Page Streaming, and welcome to my weekly update. It's where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, what I won't get to, and everything else in between. If you'd like to connect with me, the best place is in our forums at pagetoing.com. We also have a WordPress front page that we have lots of reviews and lots of things going on. So if you'd like to be involved in that, please let me know. We are looking to expand our team of reviewers, which as of right now is 4 people. And the reason behind that is because I do get a lot of review requests. I get a lot of requests to read arcs by people who see the blog or see the listen to the podcast or find it wherever they find it. And I get a lot of review requests, and I feel bad because I have to decline all of them because I can't keep up with what I have now. There's very rarely that I'll accept a review request. That's a whole nother topic. But I figured instead of just declining all of them, I would start offering them to our little group that we have on the forum. We have a private club that, I post review requests that I get there and see if anyone is interested in it. So if you'd like to join our team, I would like to have maybe 1 or 2 more people just to go through the requests that I get. And there's not much really that I can offer as far as the benefit is just to be able to get some arcs here and there. You can pick and choose, write the reviews the way you want to write them. Everyone has a different style. Everyone has, some people like to write a really long review. Some people write 4 sentences, and that's fine. There's no requirement on how often to write them. All I ask is that if you do get an arc, just please follow through with writing a review. I would hate to accept an arc and then not get a review out. That's just not, just bad form. And I do always accept digital. I think physical is, for an author to spend the money to send a physical book and then have to send it out to the reviewer, it's just a lot that's involved, and it's much easier to just have the file sent to someone. So if you are interested at all, please get in touch with me. Let me know. We do have a little group, like I said, and we are trying to get a review policy. So if you are someone who is wanting to send a review request, we are working on that. I've gotten a few requests just this last week of, what's a review policy? So we're trying to get that together and trying to get kind of like a border, like a baseline kind of what to expect when you're submitting reviews or review requests. But anyway, I like to write short reviews. I don't like to write really long reviews. If the review is as long as the book, I'm not interested. I know some people like to do that, and that's cool. I'm just not very good at it. So I try to keep it short and to the point and just kind of mention a few things and get on with it. I do write reviews for all the comics that we read for my pick of the week. And then occasionally I'll write a review for another comic that wasn't my pick, just for fun if I feel like there's something to say about it. And I have been writing reviews for books that I've read previously or books that I'm reading now. And I'll get into more of that here in a second. So yeah, get in touch with me if you are at all interested. It's just for fun. It's just a hobby thing. It's very easygoing and no pressure at all. Just if you want to follow through when we get an arc from someone. So with all that out of the way, let's get to what I was reading this week, because that's why you're here, I would assume. So last week we did finish 2 more chapters of Dead House Gates. It's the second book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen. And I think last time I mentioned Dead House Gates has been one of the more easier reads. And these 2 chapters, I think it was chapter 12, and I won't get into detail on why. I don't want to spoil anything. But there was a chapter that I lost track. There's a lot of groups. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of motivations. There's a lot of things that they say and that they mean something else. There's a lot of world building that goes in. There's a lot of factions and creature types and all this stuff going on. And I just I lost the thread for a while there, and I had to get some help during our conversation with the group. Thankfully, they all helped me out a lot, because I would get lost. And these are the types of books that I don't know that I could read on my own. There's just so much going on. I think on one hand, it's nice because all of it's thought out from the very beginning. You can tell that there is a lot of time and effort that goes into all this world building and all these people and the different threads and all the stuff that's going on. It's cool. I mean, it's nice. It's neat. It's like, wow, that's a lot of stuff to keep track of. On the other hand, it can be really confusing. So, especially for me, because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So it takes me a little bit to kind of, get in the groove. Like Second Apocalypse, I love that series. There's a ton that I missed the first time. I'm sure when I read it the third time, there'll be a ton more that I pick up on just because there's so much in those books. They're just packed with stuff. I mean, it's kind of wild. So we are continuing our read of Dead House Gates, and going well. I am almost done with Watchmen. We haven't planned that yet. I've been working lots and lots of hours, and it's been hard to keep up with the scheduling stuff. So we're hopefully going to plan the Watchmen discussion soon. I just haven't been able to have a chance to do that. And this week, I also finished The Scroungers. It's the novella by Thomas J. Devins. I'll be reading The Dregs, which is the novella, the second follow-up to that in the same world, here probably next week. Now, The Scroungers, and I have a review written on the blog for that if you're interested in hearing more detail. I'm also going to be having a dedicated podcast episode for it to discuss it. But The Scroungers, in a nutshell, I don't want to say too much about it because I have all these other things all the other chances to talk about it. But The Scroungers is basically, the setup for it is that there's a big battle that's ending. All the lords and the royalty are dead. Most of them are dead. And there's some soldiers standing around like, why are we doing this? Everyone's dead. Why are we going to fight? And I think if any of us were in that position to where we were either forced or convinced to do this fighting for someone that really, for a cause that we don't believe in, at the end when they're all dead, it's like let's just go to the pub and have a drink. And let's go hang out. And why are we going to fight? There's nothing to fight for. It's not our fight. So it goes from that to mixing all these different people that were fighting a very short period of time ago, and mix them all mixing together, and then people start getting killed, and it turns into almost a whodunit, and they have to find out who's killing everyone. It's you're not going to get a ton of world building, and you're not going to get a ton of development because it's 136 pages. So if you're looking for a novel full of world building and character, you're going to be disappointed. It's not that. It's a short, easy to read, fun time. And I hear a lot of people talk about novellas, short stories, as they're a palate cleanser. I've been one of the people to say that because they are. This one wasn't so much that as it was just a good time. It was fun. It was funny. It was dark. Lots of characters get killed. It's a very boots on the ground in the trenches kind of story. And I flew through it. It reads really fast, but in a good way. And after the last couple of months, I've had some books that I've been kind of struggling through that I wasn't enjoying all that much. This kind of reminded me why I enjoy reading. It's just supposed to be fun. And I think sometimes we forget that, and it's easy to get wrapped up in all these other things and feel like you have to read certain things. But this is just one of the books that reminded me of this is why I love to read. It's just fun, and it's just like dark, and people die. I have a reputation for loving dark stuff and death and destruction and grief. If it has grief, then it's for me. So, but yeah. Anyway, I'll get more into that for the podcast episode, and there's also more detail in my written review if you'd like to check that out. Also this week, I will be starting Absolution. It's the fourth book in the, I believe, Area X. Now it's more than a trilogy. The fourth book in the series. I really liked the first two books. The third book wasn't as good as the first two. The first book, Annihilation, that book is so good. And you don't have to read the entire trilogy to enjoy that one. It's really good. The characters are great in Annihilation, and all the different setup, all the different way it comes together. It's really, really cool. It's a science fiction, horror, survival kind of story. And you can just read that one book. You don't have to read the rest of the series. Although I think most people tend to read the second book because the first book is just so damn good. And if you watch the movie, trust me when I say you don't know. You don't know what this book has in it. It kind of gives you an idea, but it's not the entire. It's the movie is pretty different than the book, pretty different. So if you watch the movie like I did, there's a lot to enjoy in the book that was not in the movie. So yeah, good stuff. I'm excited to get into that. I hope it's not a bummer. I don't really know why there's a fourth book. I don't know that it needed it. I think it's a prequel. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. I hope it works out. But it's just sometimes when you really love a series and you see that another movie or another book is coming to that series, it's kind of like, just leave it alone. Just let it be what it is. You don't have to keep chipping away at it. But fingers crossed, maybe it'll work out. Also this week, we did post the 10 questions for Carl T. Albert. That is on the blog. Be sure to check that out if you'd like to see or like to read Carl answering questions. Some goofy, some serious, but yeah, it's a good time. It's fun stuff. So be sure and check that out. Also upcoming, we have the Oscars project that is ongoing. That is on the Film Chewing podcast. We are watching all the best pictures of the Oscars from 1960 through current day. I believe we are in 1968 now, something like that. I think it's the next one that's public is Sound of Music, but we are continue to record and discuss as we go. We're a little bit ahead. So that's been interesting. Lots of musicals in the 60s. So yeah, a mix of musicals. I really liked The Sound of Music. I really liked West Side Story. There's a few others that were kind of, I don't know, they're fine. I mean, I'm not the person who hates musicals, but I'm not crazy about them either. So, it is what it is. We're continuing that one for the Film Chewing podcast, and you can join those if you'd like to. It's all in the forum. Also, I do plan to start the Border trilogy soon. I don't have a date for that yet, but I'll be sure and let everyone know ahead of time if you'd like to read along with me. It's the trilogy by Cormac McCarthy, and I will be doing that in small chunks. I just don't know when, so I'll be sure to give everyone a heads up when that's coming. And also, I did mention last week about restarting Wars of Light and Shadow, and that is going to be restarted, but I think it's going to happen in the fall. And I want to wait till the current group is done reading the series, because I did fall off of that group. I fell way behind. So I'm going to wait until that group is done, because I think some of them have interest in rereading with me. So I'm going to wait until probably September, October to restart that. So if you are interested, you have plenty of time to prepare. It'll be a relaxed reading pace. It'll probably take a few years to get through, and I'm not joking. It's kind of wild. I mean, there's 10 books, and they're tomes, and they are dense, but dense in a good way. It's very, to read 100 pages in that series is almost like 300 pages in anything else. They're not quick reads. Let's just say that, but in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way. So, if you're interested, come by and let us know. We have plenty of time to prepare for that one. We'll need it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm questioning my choices by reading Malazan and Wars of Light and Shadow at the same time, and then I want to reread the second Apocalypse for rereaders. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I get too ambitious, and then I fall behind, and then I get disappointed in myself. So I'm trying to not overcommit to things, and because I'm having trouble keeping up right now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how things turn out. And I also want to start the Brotherhood of the Eagle. That's another one. So I was thinking maybe I can finish Brotherhood of the Eagle. If we start that soon, I can finish those 4 books. They aren't that big, so maybe we can get through that and then start Wars of Light and Shadow. But I will let everyone know I need to do a little bit more planning on that and decide if I can manage that or not, because it'll be a busy summer this summer. Okay. So I always try to add a question or two into the podcast, into a weekly update, just to kind of discuss something. And this week I wanted to talk about top 10 lists and book hauls. on YouTube. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of top 10 lists. And look, I'm guilty of it too, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say I've never done those. Of course you do them because, they people watch and it's fun. I mean, they're fun. They're fun. It's fun to put a top 10 list together. It's fun to do a book haul. It's fun to buy lots of books that you may never read. But looking back, I think, I've talked a lot about in the past year about, enjoying your reads, soaking them in, don't rush through them, take your time. And I've started to be more careful about what I buy too. I don't buy an armful of books. I buy one or two because that's what I'm planning to read now, or that's what it's a series that I'm going to read the rest of the series in, or something like that. On the other side, I'm not one of the people who tell other people what they should and shouldn't be doing with their money. If they want to buy a stack of books, have fun, like enjoy yourself. That's not my business. If you want to buy, 30 books and you want to show them off, good for you. Like, I'm not one of those people to say people should not be buying so many books. No, if they want to buy books, if that's how you want to spend your hard-earned money, then go for it. Then enjoy yourself. I'm not going to question what other people do with their money or with their time. That's up to them. So while I personally am getting away from that, I don't fault other people for doing that too, because look, people watch, and I don't watch them anymore, but people do watch them. I mean, there's no denying they're very popular. So it incentivizes people to go out and buy a bunch of books if they want to make a popular video, because it's almost like a layup. They'll come. The people will come. People will watch. People will engage. And people like watching it. So good for you. The top 10 list is a little different for me. I see a lot of top 10 lists, and a lot of them are the same. And it depends on who's making it. So if I notice that it's a lot of the same stuff, it just, I can only hear someone recommend the First Law trilogy for Grimdark so many times before it's like, okay. So when I try to make my list, I try to mix it up a little bit. Usually because I try to make things a little different, make things, and a lot of the times it's because it's truly what I think, because I try to judge everything for what it is. And sometimes I think subconsciously I leave popular stuff out just to be different, just to because I like for the First Law trilogy, for example, I think it's fine. I think it's good. It was fun. I don't think it's top tier, but that's just me. So I tend not to put something like that on my top 10 list because I don't like it that much. So it is what it is. But all these things are really fun to do, and if it works for you, then go for it. But so it is interesting though. If you are someone who loves to watch that kind of stuff, let me know why. What is it? What's the appeal to you? What's the appeal? I think for me, when I did watch them, was just to see all the possibilities and to get ideas for what I may want to read, or books that I didn't know about before. So that there are benefits to it. I mean, it does get the word out for authors. I mean, a lot of people will just send people books and say, hey, include me in your book haul, even if you don't read it. Because lots of people watch book hauls. And I know there's some really big creators who, like indie authors, will send their books to them and they'll be like, look, I don't have time to read your book. And they'll say, just put in your book haul and get, people will watch. So there are benefits to it, but just, it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see. It's interesting to kind of explore why those are so popular. What is it about those videos that people love to watch? So let me know if you're on YouTube or the forum, or send a message down below. Let me know why you love watching those types of videos. Also this week, I had some not so great news for the health of a family member. I won't get into detail, but it's hopefully not too serious. But it's those times when you kind of reflect on the time that you've spent with them. I mean, because we all lose people close to us, and when they're gone, you have to kind of reflect on the time you spent with them, the time you didn't spend with them, the decisions you made when it was to the end of their time. And it's really hard to look back and think Could I have done more? Could I have seen them more? Could I have spent more time with them? Could I have, been nicer to them? Because could I have, said different words at a certain time? Could I have, going through life, we all have things that we're not proud of. We've done things we're not proud of, and we've treated people in ways that, we're not proud of, especially family members, because we spend so much time together that it's inevitable that people argue, people don't agree. So it's just one of those times when you start to reflect and think, did I do everything I could have? And my family member, thankfully, isn't in a position to where it's, doom and gloom, but it's not the best news, but at least it's hopefully will be okay. But it does make you reflect on life's decisions, because you do want to live your own life. You do want to do your own thing. You do want to, you do want to do things that interest you. You want to do things that you enjoy doing, but at the same time, how do you balance all that time with family members, with people close to you? So it's a tough balance sometimes, to balance the time, because there's only so much time in the day. And really, we only have so much time here. We all do. So how do you balance that? It's interesting. It's sombering when you think about it, that there's never enough time to do all the things you want to do. So it's tough. But for those of you out there who have experienced that before, I think we've all experienced it in some way. But hang in there, and it's tough. So it can really leave pretty deep scars when you lose someone close to you. I know I've lost a lot of people close to me, and it never really. Death is tough because it never really goes away. It's always there, and you can move on from it, and you can keep going, but it's always there. It never truly heals. You always have a void for them in your day to day. I know I do, for people that I've lost that were close to me. So, death is one of those things where there's not a whole lot you can say when someone loses someone close to them. To console them, it's tough. What do you say to someone who loses someone that they cherish in their life? So what I'm trying to say is just try and enjoy people close to you. Try to enjoy the time you have. And, we're all of us are here. We're just visiting. None of us are here permanently. We're just visiting. So, it's tough. I don't think anyone is ever truly satisfied with the way that they handle every single thing. It's just not the way it goes, unfortunately. Well, that got kind of dark. But, the good thing is that, the people, when they're here, when we're all here, just try to spend time with people, try to do things that you enjoy, live your life, try and be happy, and try and do things that you enjoy and that you want to do, and that maximize your time. And whether it's when I'm at work and people say, it's Monday, I can't wait until Friday. It's like, no, well, enjoy Monday. Like, it's Monday, but enjoy it. Like, cherish it. You only have so many more Mondays to go. So just because it's Monday doesn't mean you shouldn't just enjoy being alive and enjoy being here and enjoy whatever's happening. I know sometimes it's hard because life kind of sucks, but you know what I mean. I mean, just kind of, enjoy the time that we all have here, whether it's whatever day of the week it is or whatever you're dealing with. Is try to enjoy being alive and having the option to make those decisions. Like reading good books, reading things you enjoy, doing things you enjoy, telling stories, creating, taking up a new hobby. We're all here for a limited time, so enjoy it. So anyway, I did not plan to go off on that tangent, but anyway, hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone is hanging in there. The weather is kind of sort of changing, not really, at least for me. It kind of teases us with some warm days and some miserable days. But until next time, hope everyone has a great week. Enjoy what you're reading. Enjoy your life. Enjoy being alive. And just enjoy whatever it is going on with you. And if things are going tough, then just hang on. It'll pass, hopefully. So until next time, hope everyone's doing well. And we will talk to everyone very soon.